Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Well, by his own admission, Shawn Feurer has been on a journey to find a secret to success, and he eventually discovered that it is a positive mindset. Now that he has discovered this, he wants to help others to develop such a mindset through his work as a universal mindset disruptor. Shawn joins us now to explain how a positive mindset can ultimately lead to a successful life. Shawn, what is the role of a universal mindset disruptor?
Hey, good morning. I am a mindset coach, and my role is helping individuals think better thoughts so they can get better results. And it comes with awareness of how programmed our subconscious mind is and using some specific tools to break those patterns and help people create better results from the inside out.
On countless occasions, we have heard about the benefits of a positive mindset, but what are the characteristics of it?
So, and it's interesting because we hear about the benefits and everybody talks about mindset all the time, but there's not really a definition. Like if somebody says, "Here, Karl, be more positive." Okay, we wake up, we say, "I'm going to be more positive today," and then a bunch of things happen and we're not positive. So to me, it's becoming intentional and deciding which characteristics you want to create more positivity around and then affirming them. I mean, I use mindset as two words. Where's your mindset on happiness? Where's your mindset on money? Where is your mindset on health and wellness? And if we're not getting the results we like on the outside, we have to change the set point on the inside. And I do that with the power of affirmation, visualization, and just being intentional on creating more of what I'm trying to create. And once I program it, it becomes automatic.
What were the lessons that you learned when running a successful family business that helped you to develop a mindset that works for you?
Well, sometimes, Karl, the people that we love and care about the most aren't always the most positive. They have their own beliefs and their own mindset. And my business partner for almost 20 years was my stepdad who raised me, who was a beautiful, wonderful, loving man, but he was also very skeptical. So I had real world training every single day of running into him, and the sky was falling, everything was bad. And I had to learn how to bubble up from that and say, okay, that's his opinion of what's going on. I can have a different opinion. I can be optimistic. I can be positive. And, doing that every day for 20 years. And I jokingly and lovingly say he was my trainer for coaching. He was my trainer for positivity in a negative world, because you're going to get it every single day on the news, on social media. It's coming from everywhere. And the world seems to thrive on negativity. You have to become your own positivity bubble. And that's what I learned in business. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. And every day I have an opportunity to make it better.
And why does the world thrive on negativity, in your opinion?
I think because there's so much power in negative emotion. The subconscious mind, and to me, not to get religious, but in a spiritual way, our mind was given purpose by our Creator for two primary reasons. Our subconscious mind, job number one is keep us safe. And job number two is keep us efficient. And when the subconscious mind gets negative information, it goes into fight or flight and takes massive action. And I think, the psychologists, the media, they know that. And so they're sending messages that we will react faster. We run away from pain faster than we go towards pleasure. So we're wired to the negative. That's why mindset and being positive is so important, is it's not our natural way of being. We have to work at it every single day.
And talk to us about self-limiting beliefs and how they should be addressed.
Yeah, so it's interesting. And the tool I use to get over self-limiting beliefs is positive affirmation. But I can't tell you how many people, Karl, I've worked with, and they say, well, I don't do affirmations. And I say, really? Well, you just told me you're not confident, you're not happy, and you're not successful. Every single day, do you have those thoughts? Oh, yeah, I do. You're negatively affirming yourself every day. And that's what self-limiting beliefs are. They're negative thoughts that we automatically have about life and situations. And the interesting thing is those self-limiting beliefs, they're really outer limiting beliefs because they didn't come from you. We get programmed from the outside in, from our parents, from school, from life experience. And so we get to a point, and for me, I was about 40 years old when I had I call it my midlife awakening, where I was like, oh my gosh, my head is full of stories that aren't true and aren't mine, and I'm listening to them. I need to tell myself a new story. So to me, identifying self-limiting beliefs is listening to the negative self-talk, maybe making a list of it. I call them your I'm not, and then coming up with your own list of positive affirmations that are the complete opposite to override the negative self-talk.
And what prompted that eureka moment for you?
I was 40 years old. I was in what ended up being a marriage that was going to end. I was in a bad situation with my business partner, my father, my health and wellness, and I got stuck in a traffic roundabout. I was driving to my office, not wanting to go to my office. I didn't want to turn around and go home because things were miserable everywhere, and I got stuck in this roundabout. And a song by the band Imagine Dragons, It's Time, was on. It's my theme song. And I was like, it's time to do something different. What I'm doing isn't working. I'm about to lose my business. I'm about to lose my house. I'm about to lose my marriage. And I got to take accountability, and I got to make some changes.
So what steps did you take right after that?
So in 2014, I'd been listening to a spiritual teacher by the name of Esther Hicks, and she talked about creating your own reality. And I'd been a fan of, Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Bob Proctor. And her message resonated with me to the point, and she described this exercise. She said, write a letter to yourself, and write it present tense as if it's already happened, every area of your life. And so I took this exercise seriously. I spent a lot of time making my list. And at the time, Karl, I was sick, broke, and about to be all alone. And I wrote a letter describing my mind, my relationships, my money, me. Once I wrote the letter, something inside of me changed, because when I would read that letter, I would feel better, even though my situation sucked. And, after writing that letter, it's when Bob Proctor, I mentored under Bob Proctor, was one of his top consultants for a couple of years. I've mentored under Jack Canfield. I now facilitate with him. But just leaning into that letter and then the tools and experiences that came after that, December 31st, 2023, every single thing I wrote in that letter has come true. My relationship, my new wife, my new business, my new house, my new vehicles, my new bonus daughters that came into my life, everything that I put in a letter that I had no idea how at the time I could do it, I've done.
From the clients that you've worked with over many years, Shawn, what has it taken in terms of time to develop this new habit?
So less than an hour a day. It's so interesting because most individuals work physically harder than they have to for longer hours than they're necessary because we're programmed to work on the outside. And I always tell people, and I use this cheesy analogy of chopping wood. If you were chopping wood with an axe and you chop for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, whatever it is, and you never sharpen the axe would get dull and your production would go down. That's what most humans do. We chop. In fact, there's an analogy of two guys that were in a wood chopping competition, and one guy chopped for 8 hours straight, and the other guy chopped for 45 minutes, left, came back, chopped for 45 minutes, left, came back. So at the end of the 8 hours, one guy left 8 times, the other guy worked nonstop. The guy who left 8 times had twice as much wood. The frustrated guy said, "What were you doing? It felt like you were leaving quite a bit and you chopped more wood." And the guy who won the competition said, "Well, yeah, every 45 minutes I went and sharpened my axe." For me, if somebody will take at a minimum 30 minutes a day to get in the energy of their goal, to do affirmation work, to listen to some good material, and to do some gratitude, that 30 minutes will sharpen you to the point that you become a more effective tool in your work, in your health and wellness, and in your personal relationships.
So for clients of yours that want to change their mindset, what process do you bring them through?
So I have a program I put together called Inner Blueprint. It's 12 modules. Most people work with me for a minimum of 6 months going through the material. But the very first step is they have to make the decision. And the decision is, are you interested in creating better results, or you're committed? Because if you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. If you're committed, you'll do whatever it takes. And I need people, I'm going to give you a lot of energy. I'm going to give you a lot of tools. You have to use them. So that's step one is a decision. Step two is we spend a couple weeks on what do you want, and not what do you think you can have, but if time and money and all your self-limiting beliefs didn't exist, what would you want? And from there, very systemized, very, 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 very processed. Take your mind from what you want to a full belief to hold it in the physical world.
And from your experience, Shawn, what's the number one reason why people would take this action?
Something in their life isn't working the way they want it to. They're either sick, broke, or all alone at some level. And they get to a point where they say, gosh, I'm working as hard as I can. I put so much time and effort into this job, into this relationship, into my workout, and I'm not seeing the results. And rather than looking for physical tools or quick fixes, like taking a pill or paying somebody to do it for you, they come to me and say, Shawn, I'm ready for some change. I've done all the right things for 20 years. It's not working. Can you help me? And that's usually when I get involved.
And how important is it for somebody to understand their purpose before they go on this journey?
Oh, there's so much talk about finding your why. I think you can work and live and love while you find it, but finding your purpose is number one. Karl, I lost my beautiful mother at 63 years old to early onset Alzheimer's. The spiritual meaning of early onset Alzheimer's is giving up hope and purpose. My mom was the best mom. She was a stay-at-home mom. I'm the oldest of four. When the last one was out of the house, she lost purpose, and we watched her shut down. My younger brother, a month ago, passed away on the side of a gas station in Las Vegas, Nevada, of homelessness and an accidental drug overdose. He never found his purpose. He never found his self-love. So I've had two people that I love and care about more than anything in this world. Both of them got lost without purpose, and neither one of them found their true self-love. And so my job as the universal mindset disruptor is I help people find purpose in life, and more importantly, find their self-love and confidence so they can live that purpose to the highest level.
And how do you unlock that purpose in your clients?
Get them thinking bigger. It is a process. I mean, we start with what do you want, and we do it for a couple of weeks, and then we move on to what holds you back, and then we move into where is your mindset. Now, those are the first three steps, and without taking any program with me or work with me, you can take yourself through a process of what do I want, not what do I think I have, but what do I want. If you think big, and sometimes I'll say, okay, take your annual income and make it your monthly income in your mind. Oh my gosh, I could never do that. Why? They start listing some reasons. That's what holds them back. And then we say, okay, where's your mindset on this? Where's your mindset on that? And we realize very quickly, within a matter of a couple of weeks, where we're stuck and where we need to go.
But Shawn, do you find that most people don't know what they want?
Yes. And guess what? When you say God, universe, give me anything, you're going to get anything. You're going to get everything. And so that is why, one, I'm very successful, is most people I meet with have no idea what they really want. We get programmed from the outside in, from birth, to be logical, to kill our imagination, to think small. And so it definitely is a process. I help people understand their human mind, its superpowers, and then how that mind works in the physical world, the law of gravity, law, attraction, vibration, compensation, polarity, the law of opposites. When we work with the physical world the way it's intended, with our mind removed of self-limiting belief, we become very powerful creators of our reality.
And how does the mindset change help people to navigate the inevitable challenges that they face in life?
It's actually called the law of rhythms, right? Sometimes we get in a period of really good, and sometimes we get in a period of really bad. We are the controller of that in every situation. So, along with figuring out what you want, what holds you back in the affirmation work, I use a mathematical formula to stay in control in every situation. It's called E plus R equals O. I learned it from my mentor, Jack Canfield, and as he describes it, the E stands for event. We don't control the events in life. The challenging things that are going to happen, most of them happen because of weather, the economy, other people, and we don't control it. And for 40 years of life, I tried to control events. I couldn't. Create a lot of frustration, anxiety, and stress. And so every single day I teach people that you don't control the event, you control the R. So E plus R equals O. The O is the outcome. What's the R? The R is one of two things. It's either a programmed emotional reaction or it's a paused intentional response. And as you go through your day, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. And in every instance, you choose a response that will create a better outcome instead of an emotional reaction that makes things worse. And this isn't easy to do. I mean, I'm making it sound really simple. I mean, it's taken me years to get decent at E plus R equals O. I'm still a work in progress. I'm a human being. I emotionally react inappropriately sometimes, and then I have to go back and respond later. But in every moment, just thinking, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. How can I make it better? For me, I travel a lot for work. If a flight gets delayed or I miss the flight because of the security line, I don't get mad. That's the event. My response is, maybe that plane's going to have trouble in the air. Maybe I would have gotten a car accident if I got there on time. I was supposed to be late. I can always talk myself into a better feeling about a situation. My mom died of early onset Alzheimer's because I was going through divorce and was in a financial struggle. I was living in her and my dad's basement. It was a tough situation. She's dying of Alzheimer's. It felt better to me. I could have reacted by drinking too much, by being depressed. I responded with love and gratitude that I was there to help her. And on mornings when I would wake up in the basement office and hear her fighting with my dad because she didn't recognize him. I could go upstairs. She would recognize me. I could give her a hug. I found gratitude for that. I chose a better response through every challenge I've had.
From a business perspective, what impact can revolutionizing thought patterns have on a company's performance?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I have success story after success story. You know, for a lot, and I work with a lot of, mid-sized to smaller businesses here in the United States and Canada. These business owners have their entrepreneurial seizure, and they get started, and they have mindset that they have to do everything themselves, that they have to control situations, all these programs, thought patterns that make them take the jump. But when they get to a certain level, those programs that served them well now start to hold them back. When you get a company of a certain size, you have to let go. And a business owner will say, I'm delegating this to this manager, but then their subconscious mind will get in the way. And so as I've worked with, I've got business owners that run pretty large companies for a lot of years, not very profitably, and they start working on their mindset and shifting and changing, letting go subconsciously to some of the things that are blocking them. All of a sudden, their net profit, the bottom line that matters most, starts to grow, and it starts to grow rapidly. There's a Taylor Swift song about it. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. I make every business owner sing that to me because they are. They complain about their managers. They complain about their customers. But at the end of the day, it's their business. And when they take full accountability and start changing their thought patterns, they start getting better results in their business.
So, Shawn, finally, what's the starting point for anyone listening this morning that would like to change their mindset? What advice have you got for them?
Make a decision. Bob Proctor used to talk all the time, and he coached me heavily on, Shawn, just make a decision. You've been talking about this for how long? Make a decision. If you want to make more money, make a decision. If you want to get in better health and wellness, make a decision. If you want to improve your relationship with your spouse, your partner, your friend, make a decision. There's so much power in decision. And then once you make that decision, get clear on what you want and not what you think you can have. If you say, I'm making a decision, I want more money. How much? How often? Get really specific. And then once you do that, everything that I teach comes through mostly Bob Proctor and Jack Canfield. And both of those gentlemen were students and mentees under the lineage of Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich. And so if you wanted something you could do on your own, and I read Think and Grow Rich for the first time about 20 years ago, and just reading it alone for me didn't do it. I had to study it. I've now studied that book for 20 years. My mentors have a combined 100 years of study of that book. Read the book, Think and Grow Rich. He talks about definite purpose, which is once you make a decision, you get definite in your purpose. He talks about the power of persistence, of auto-suggestion, of faith. That book is filled with anything and everything you would need to create a successful life.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Shawn Feurer, the Universal Mindset Disruptor, and I'd like to thank Shawn for sharing his tips for developing a powerful mindset with us this morning.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.